SGA playing like an MVP. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going back to the NBA Finals. Halliburton, a three, and for the first time in 25 years, are going to the NBA Finals.
Let's buckle up and get ready.
We're just 2 days away from the NBA Finals tipping off. SA, tell me this. Who will be the most important player in this series?
I think it's going to be Jalen Williams. Because when I look at this guy, do y'all realize that him and Evan Mobley for the Cleveland Cavaliers are the only two dudes in the entire NBA that was on the All-NBA team and the All-NBA defensive team? Those two. That's it. Nobody else. This brother's incredibly important. They're 11-1 when he scores 17 or more in the postseason. They're 1-3 when he doesn't. He just came off a conference final series against a Timberwolves team that was considered to be big time defensively, not number one like OKC, but definitely formidable. He averaged 22 points a game on 49% shooting, on 46% shooting from three-point range. If that brother shows up, this is a romp. There's no way this is going to be a final series. A romp. There's no way this is going to be a series if Jalen Williams looks like that. So I'm saying to you that if he doesn't look like that, then Indiana obviously has got a chance, because that means OKC's offense is not as formidable as they're accustomed to being, and as a result, Indiana will stand a chance. I'm going to say Jalen Williams because when he's on his game, the Oklahoma City Thunder is a different beast.
I hear you, Stephen A. Your point is well taken. You just happen to be wrong. I'm going to roll with Pascal Siakam as the most important player in this series. And it's not for what Pascal Siakam represents for the Pacers on the offensive end. We already understand. You're wrong. Pascal Siakam is the most important player in this series because not only what he does on the offensive end, you know, he averaged over 30 points in their wins in the conference finals, but I think it's what he's going to have to do on the defensive end. The double big lineup for the Oklahoma City Thunder is a problem when it comes to the matchup facing the Indiana Pacers, and Pascal Siakam is going to have his hands full. We saw how Karl Anthony Towns exploited Miles Turner in the conference finals. Cat averaged 25 points a game, so I think it's going to be absolutely critical that Pascal Siakam step up to the challenge that is trying to defend when the Thunder throw out that double big lineup. Now, I think Rick Carlisle, their head coach, will try to help him out in terms of being able to emphasize the importance of playing with pace to try to run those guys off the court. But I think the biggest thing for the Indiana Pacers is going to be how they match up inside when it comes to points in the paint, when it comes to being able to rebound the basketball to end the defensive possession. That is going to be mission critical for the Indiana Pacers, and Pascal Siakam is at the heart of that.
Stephen A., respectfully, I need you to please, with affection, fix your face when it comes to Pascal Siakam. That man is an NBA champion, and he's playing his best basketball right now. Now, I will agree with both of you. You audibly sighed when you said CC said Pascal.
Because he's saying that he's the key. I'm not implying that Pascal Siakam isn't a champion who can ball. See how y'all twist stuff? See how you change the narrative? I mean, come on now. That's not what I said. I'm not disrespecting Pascal Siakam. I never have.
But this is why I can say, as tiebreaker, I agree with both of you. This is officially the Spider-Man meme that I said earlier. Looking at each other, the number two options for both of these teams are going to be critically important. But I'm actually going to take a different perspective on this one, you guys, because I know if this is going to be, as Stephen A. says, a romp in between the lines, right? It's going to actually be dictated by what happens on the sidelines. We have to give a moment for these coaches. Let's start with Rick Carlisle. What he has been able to do is truly impressive. The way that he has created an offensive system that can plug and play all of his players is awesome. And it's not just the stars that thrive and benefit like Halliburton and Siakam. It's also the supporting cast. And we witnessed this in the series versus New York. You have Nesmith showing up and dropping buckets, 18 in the fourth quarter, 6 threes on a night. Game one, wild. You have, if you think about it, more and more players like Mathurin coming off the bench, being big boosts to their offense because of the system he created. And we have to highlight Andrew Nembhard, because the defensive work that he did, that adjustment, putting him on Jalen Brunson, holding him to 3 of 10 shooting. He matched up with him 55 times in that elimination game, which was huge because if you think about it, that's the most we've ever seen someone match up against Jalen Brunson in his playoff career. And he did a great job on him. So those types of adjustments for Rick Carlisle in Indiana have been great. But the same way you can put respect on him, you can put respect on Mark Daigneault. I mean, it takes a lot of cojones to be able to say, Alex Caruso, go and guard Nikola Jokic and get in his head. It takes a lot to be able to say, hey, go guard Rudy Gobert and go out there and jump. I think he had 4 steals against Rudy Gobert, part of their 14 on a night. Lou Dort had 3 too. He's the catalyst of their defense.
Did you just say it takes a lot to go out and guard Rudy Gobert? Did you just say that on national television?
I said Nikola Jokic first. Okay, I'm making a point. Don't miss the point, Stephen A. My point is that Caruso guarding Jokic, we have not been able to see anybody stop that man or slow down that man or make that man look human, and he did that. Then he went up against the center, which, okay, no matter what you want to say, Rudy Gobert still was able to go out there, hedge, force screens, be a part of schemes, and then he also guarded Anthony Edwards don't
nod your head like she right.
I am right. I'm always right.
No, you're not right.
So these types of tinkering moves on both sides by the coaches will dictate and determine this series. And I know I'm right because you're smirking right now.
So Alex Caruso goes out there. Why does he go out there? Why does Daigneault assign him to it? Not only because he's a pest as an elite defensive player who also is a champion. He won a championship with the Lakers 29-20 season in the bubble, right? We get that part. But the other side to it is that he has backup. It's not like he's guarding Jokic one-on-one and nobody is there to help. I mean, Hartenstein is 7 feet. Chet Holmgren is 7'1", and they're waiting on the back end. So be a pest. Pester this guy. Body him up, etc. But excuse me, he had help. Not every possession, but he had help. That's number one. Number two, when you're talking about the coaches, well, damn. Listen, when you got cats that you played, the Indiana Pacers gave 11 different dudes at least 15 minutes a game during the regular season. Daigneault and OKC gave 9 to 10 dudes that every game of the season. So when you look at it from that standpoint, if you're accustomed to using your depth, oh my Lord, stop the presses. We're going to do the same thing in the finals that got us here. All season long, through 82 games, okay? Through 16 playoff or 12 playoff victories, okay? We did the same thing, but now it's asking a lot for you to do what has worked for you to this point.
No,
come on now.
It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Do you think Andrew Nembhard guarding Jalen Brunson mattered in the elimination game?
Yes.
It
did.
Thank you. Do you think that Alex Caruso guarding Nikola Jokic mattered?
Yes.
Well, yes, but
okay,
he
so
had
I'm right.
help.
How are you going to let
But he had
somebody
help.
school you on your own
We have
program,
receipts on this
Stephen A?
program.
This is getting embarrassing.
First of all, Molly, let's not act like she's some pundit. She is a former player, an all-world player, by the way, as a professional. So let's be so first of all, even if I am being schooled, it takes somebody like that to school me, and it ain't happening anyway. But I got it. My point to you is, in the end, when you're looking at personnel, you do what got you there. This is who they are. And I'm going to wait to see how it works. We know what they're going to do. The question is, what you going to do about it? What you going to do about it? A whole bunch of people want to go up against Shanae. A whole bunch of people want to go up against Chris Canty. A whole lot of people want to roll up against me on national television. How'd that work out for you? Keep it coming. You can talk about what you want to do, but doing it is what you got to do.
He is on one. He's in rare form today.
What is going on today?
Rare form.
Like, what happened last night, this morning? You just have an extra,
He's the money man. He starts flexing, right?
He on my
He's the money
about
man.
what I'm wearing. He on Shanae about a basketball takes. I don't know what's gotten into Stephen A. Smith.
I'm just saying. I disagree with it.
I don't know what's happening.
Someone little
Mellow
fired.
Mellow Yellow, calm down. Calm down. Stop trying to act like you give a tweet. Don't come between the flavor. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it. All right? You ain't gonna do it.
I'm not going to do what?
I'm not gonna say it.
I'm told the Knicks have internal meetings this week to really evaluate everything from their coaches to their players and just see how they move forward to continue to compete for a championship in the Eastern Conference. But if we've seen the last year and a half as any indication for Leon Rose, the Knicks president, went on and got OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns to elevate this team. I do expect the Knicks to be aggressive to see, is there a move out there, a landmark move potentially, that takes this team over the top, or do they just make moves around the edges for their bench?
All right, Shams, appreciate you. We got Janae back here with us, but Canty, I'm coming to you.
All right.
Does this Knicks team have a ceiling?
Yes, they do. And there's several different reasons for that. And I think this previous series against the Pacers gives us a tremendous amount of insight in terms of where the Knicks are at. I think it's a good barometer. Their three biggest issues are depth, defense, and their best player. I'll start with the first one. The Knicks only had 5 players average 8 points or more in the conference finals. Conversely, the Indiana Pacers had 8. In today's NBA, especially considering the luxury tax, you got to have more depth. So that's an issue. Defense is absolutely atrocious. They gave up the second most points per 100 possessions of any team in the conference finals going back the last 18 seasons. Karl Anthony Towns, 7-footer, played over 200 minutes, the only 7-footer since blocks became an official stat to only register 1 block in the conference finals. That's absolutely ridiculous. So that's an issue. But the biggest point is Jalen Brunson as the best player. Don't get me wrong, I think Jalen Brunson is an absolute dog, but there are clearly some limitations given his stature. Being 6'2", I think it's a problem for the New York Knicks in terms of him being the league dog, having to do so much on the offensive end and then being so much of a liability on the defensive end. I mean, if you're looking at a player of that size, that stature, that play type, you got to go back to the Detroit Pistons with Zeke back in the late 80s and early 90s in terms of a team winning a championship with a guy 6'2" or under being their best player. Now, not to say that Brunson can't play. I mean, Steve Nash is a 2-time MVP, didn't win a championship, was a damn good basketball player. I think that the Knicks have got to explore the potential of being able to add another star on that roster to take pressure off of Jalen Brunson.
Stephen A?
As this current Knicks team is constructed, the ceiling is what we just witnessed. Because last time I checked, Indiana isn't going away. Cleveland will be back. Teams like Orlando, you got to watch out for. Boston, you can't summarily dismiss. And one could easily argue that the New York Knicks have been figured out. Now, Chene, CeCe, I'm not going to point the finger at Tom Thibodeau. I think that Tom Thibodeau is a defensive wizard. You didn't give him defensive personnel. I'm looking at Leon Rose. This trade for Mikal Bridges is going to come back to haunt this team. 5 first-round picks, 4 unprotected. And then I'm looking at it, guys. Keep in mind that Mikal Bridges has never been an all-star. You did it for somebody that has never been an all-star. Now, you had to a certain degree because you don't do business with the Nets because the Nets they're in town, they ain't going to help you. All right? So they're going to milk you for everything that's worth. And you did it because Jalen Brunson signed an extension, a lengthy extension a year before he had to, which saved you over $100 million. And so you went out and got his boy. But I'm looking at Leon Rose, and to a lesser degree, I have to look at Jalen Brunson because you wanted your friend, your teammate at Villanova so bad, and this is what Leon Rose went out and did. But look at the future that you've got here. You traded Karl Anthony Towns. You gave away Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. That's true, but you also gave away a top 13 protected first-round pick from the Pistons, which was top 13 protected in this year. It's top 11 protected next year. It's top 9 protected in 2027. So it's just a daunting situation, and with the talent that exists in the Wild Wild West, combined with what exists in the East, I don't see the Knicks getting any further than they did just now. This was their best chance to get to the finals, and I think it will be for the foreseeable future unless a miracle happens.
So to answer the question, Stephen A., because you make a lot of good points, because they are under pressure based off of what we saw and what we witnessed. Like, we saw the full potential of what this iteration of the Knicks is. And while admirable, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, now you look at the rest of the road and you're like, everyone is going to continue to come and get better. I will say that most teams have ceilings. Most teams are probably a piece away in the NBA, so I don't fault them too much. But I do look and I say they need to establish, honestly, an identity that is probably a little bit better. If you look at the Pacers, the identity is being one of the best offenses in the NBA, the best assisting teams. They run, they move off ball. If you look at the Thunder, their identity is defense. And they also have the MVP, so that really helps and catapults them on offense. If you look down the list of those teams that you mentioned, whether it is the up-and-coming, Detroit Pistons or the Magic, you're starting to see identities form. What is the identity of this New York squad? I feel like the only thing you can count on is offensively Jalen Brunson, and especially in the clutch time. You were praying, literally, Stephen A., on this program, you were praying that Josh Hart knocked down threes. You were praying that Cat, was really defending. Canty, great stat on the blocks. You were praying that Bridges, you literally said, get to the mid-range. That is your money shot. The money man called it his money shot. There were so many circumstances that you hoped and wished were great for them to be successful. It should not be a question. They should know who they are, especially now with the rest of the NBA rising. And I do think that they have the opportunity to refine and retune it, but they will need some help like other teams need another piece to make that happen.
Or land a big fish like
Mikal
Giannis.
Bridges got to show up. Mikal Bridges got to work on this game and show up because you gave up so many assets for him. What he's done this year, he's had moments, but it's not good enough for a guy that cost you 4 first-round picks. Mikal Bridges has to
Top
get better.
of the hour.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear, I pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA over here,